We are going to review a new product from Jim Beam. I mean, last year, 2023, was the year of Jim Beam, but this will be interesting. I think this is right up Brian's wheelhouse, and he's going to be super excited, which is the Old Overholt 10-year cast strength rye whiskey. So comes in the old granddad 114 bottle. So I mean, automatically that gives it 3 points of goodness. Uh, but we'll see what we think. So this is coming in about $80. Uh, it's going to become pretty popular and available and everything like that. A 10-year-old rye is hard to complain about. So let's see what we think. It says made in Kentucky, but born in Pennsylvania. So there we go.
Feel like that is the start to a country song, actually.
Yeah, I can get on board with that.
Again, like I'm very jealous of your prices. You're like, oh, that's $80. I'm like, oh, I saw that for 110 and passed. So
Maybe we'll find out if you regret that.
So the nose is
mm,
just spearmint.
yeah, very good assessment.
It's like I get a lot of oak.
Okay, I don't get any of
I
it.
give that okay. Once again, Charlie samples questionable.
Or your
He's
nose
just
is
he's
questionable.
just more in tune with the oak note.
The oak and I are
That-
one.
they really are. He smells it even if it's not there. He just smells so much oak throughout the week. Exactly. I mean, we literally have videos of
All
him
right,
just doing that around
this
his
is walnut.
house. Wood's wood.
What was the proof?
It is 121 proof,
Yeah.
and it is not. I don't think it fills that high proof.
Yeah, I could tell it's. I was gonna say 130, so I would
Oh,
overshot.
okay. I was going to go 110, so would have
Sorry, I'm
undershot.
starting at the back here, but the finish leaves me with it's like a frosted flakes taste.
Mm-hmm.
It's a it's a weird thing to. It's like a little bit of a cornflake, but a sweet cornflake.
Yeah.
They're great.
And I would say on the palate, I get a little bit of like a pickly note, which is, but not a dill pickle, more of a sweet pickle.
I don't get a lot of the traditional rye notes on here.
No.
It's a little. It's just. It's sweeter. I feel like than
Mm-hmm.
a chip rye. And man, Chuck on the frosted flakes note, like
Is that
yes,
yeah? You
on the
getting
end,
that?
yeah, it really, yeah. I mean, like with the spearmint kind of mixed in, but yeah, it's. I'm like tasting that, and I'm thinking that, yeah. I remember frosted flakes tasting very like
Oh
just
yeah,
like
and then
like that.
you drank the milk, and then just like it was pure sugar at the bottom.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I was even going to say, I feel like it's not fresh frosted flakes. Like if you remember, like when you have it fresh, it kind of had a flavor.
Yeah,
Like when it's sat in the milk for 5 minutes, like that's
a
the
little
frosted flake
soggy.
flavor. But it has a different. I mean, it's still good. It just has a little bit of different taste.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is.
I think it's really well balanced with the robustness of the. I think some of the oak and even some of the proof point I think comes through more on the palate with some of that sweetness.
The rye notes on this are so like subdued outside of the nose that I feel
Yeah.
like if you hadn't told me this was a rye
I think it's
and
Kentucky rye.
like and I
I mean
didn't
that's
yeah and I didn't like spend any time on the nose and just had it like I wouldn't identify it necessarily as a rye.
Yeah, it's so balanced between the sweetness and the rye notes, and they go back and forth through the entire palate and the finish. No one ever takes the predominant note, which makes it great.
Yeah, that's delightful. I mean, I would if I spent $100 on that, I wouldn't be disappointed. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
80.
No.
If you see it for 80, grab two.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yep. Bye. Boom for 80. 100 fair. Now, would I go 110, 115? Like, but I don't know. I mean, have you seen bourbon prices lately? Like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. So,
Yeah, no, it's definitely one of the best ryes I've had in a long time because it's not override. It's much more of the Kentucky rye, a little more bourbon forward. It's you could just drink this all day and not have a problem with it. So
Don't mind me. I'm over here. I'm just doing doing my own rye flight. So just carry on. I'll give you feedback in a moment.
oh, are you finally getting around to my rye flight?
No, this
Is that
is
what's happening?
he probably poured a handy.
my rise.
Mm.
Yeah, this is a great bottle. If you see it, definitely recommend it. Can't go wrong with it. And yeah, I love it. Good offering from Jim Beam, especially for a rye. However, this year, I don't know if the other two guys know, they are going to be doing a boo rye with a blend of Knob Creek and Knob Creek rye. And there's the other Old Overholt right there. And there's an AH Overholt, if I remember right, that just came out. But yeah, Jim Beam is doing some amazing stuff. Definitely check it out if you have not. And what is Chuck's final opinion on his blind? We really don't care about Brian's.
I mean, I'm drinking the $20 version of the $80 version we just had. So,
Mm-hmm.
So two different ends of the price scale. So I had a sample of my handy and also of Kentucky Owl. So we're talking 200 plus. Well, I didn't pay 200 for the handy, but secondary price $700 plus the Kentucky Owl over 200. And maybe it's just tonight. And the Kentucky Owl is a little bit different. It's like more of a lemon dill. You get a little bit more of those traditional rye notes. The handy's just sweeter. But honestly, the Old Overholt is, to me, like if you're looking for a powerful finish rye, Kentucky rye. So again, not thinking the MGP 95.5 notes. I think the Old Overholt takes it, which at $80, like, dang. Actually, I think I still had a sample of your Jack Daniels rye. Like that might have been
Yeah.
Where'd that go?
So while Chuck looks for that, I'm gonna make a little comparison on the Old Overholt Bottle and Bond $20 Dollar Tree special. Not as good as the 10-year $80 version.
Okay, there we go.
Hot take right there, but is actually pretty good. So it tastes a little bit like water compared to the other one. But if I had the other one first, it's very, very drinkable, very enjoyable for $20. So there you go.
The regular Old Overholt is a great opener for the Old Overholt 10-year. That's what we're hearing.
So yeah, I was actually super tempted by the 10-year, and so I went and got this just to be like, I'd never had their stuff, so I was just like, let me try their base product, because typically I feel like if you don't like their base products, their better stuff just isn't typically worth it. So I got this just to see if maybe, because I've seen around town, maybe it's worth 100. This is enjoyable. So this might have been something had this sample not been sent, where I would have had this and then been like, I think that would be worth spending more to get one of their more premier products. So
gotcha.
Old Overholt wins.
Oh, really? I was going to say Jack.
What? Over the Jack?
The palate and finish are closer, but Old Overholt takes it on the nose. And honestly, I think it's better.
There you go. Man spoke.
Of this particular Jack Daniels single barrel, which is not every single barrel. You understand?
Yeah.
But
So to recap, you're saying Old Overholt over Jack Single Barrel Proof Rye over Kentucky Owl Rye over Thomas Handy Rye.
I think that's the moral of the story. Chances are you're not going to be able to find Tom's Handy. If you can, great, pick it up. Chances are you don't want to spend 200 plus for a Kentucky Owl. Completely understand. If you can find it,
Very understandable.
right.
I'm just going
So
to say
if you
that.
can find a Jack Daniel's barrel strength rye or an Old Overholt 10-year rye, buy those and you'll be happy and know that those are just as good as these other incredibly hard to find ryes.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
You're
there it is.
welcome.
Yeah. We spent way too much money on bourbon, questioned life choices to tell
You
you.
you are using the term "we" very loosely, I feel like, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, we contend. Brian's part of the group,
Oh,
even though
that
he doesn't
Jack
spend.
single barrel rye is good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So if you can find it, buy it. Otherwise, cheers. And we'll see you next time.
I found a rye that I liked. Stay neat.
There we go.
Our bourbon.